Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The US will send Ukraine more advanced rocket systems to help it defend itself. That's according to President Biden.
As the president said, we won't.
The weapons long requested by Ukraine are to help it strike enemy forces more precisely from a longer distance. Until now, the US has refused the request out of fear the weapons could be used against targets in Russia. Moscow said it viewed the latest US weapons package to Ukraine, including the new systems, extremely negatively. Separately, the German government has promised to send an air defence system to Ukraine. Chancellor Olaf Scholz told MPs that the IRIS-T system was the most modern Germany possessed and would enable Ukraine to defend an entire city against Russian air attacks. A senior UN official says she had constructive discussions in Moscow with the Russian First Deputy Prime Minister on facilitating Russian grain and fertilizer exports to global markets.
It was in Moscow.
The spokesman said Rebecca Grinspan was now in Washington for talks on the same issue, with the key aim of addressing growing global food insecurity. However, the likelihood of a global food crisis increases by the day. Here, stocks of sunflower seeds burning inside a storage unit after it was hit by shelling in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. Pope Francis has appealed to authorities to lift the block on wheat exports from Ukraine, saying the grain cannot be used as a weapon for war. Speaking at his general audience to thousands of people in St. Peter's Square, he said the block should be lifted because many millions of people depend on wheat from Ukraine, particularly in the world's poorest countries. The state governor of Oaxaca State in Mexico says that at least 11 people are dead and more than 20 missing after Hurricane Agatha struck. Agatha made landfall on Monday as a Category 2 hurricane, the strongest to hit Mexico's Pacific coast in the month of May since records began in 1949. Heavy rain brought by Agatha triggered landslides and flash flooding. Most of the victims were swept away by rivers or buried in mudslides. Agatha arrived on Mexico's coast near Puerto Angel with winds of up to 169 kilometers per hour. The Somali government says more than 300,000 children are facing acute malnutrition and nearly 800,000 Somalis have been displaced by the drought affecting the Horn of Africa. The new president, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, visited Bioda in the worst affected region. The United Nations has warned that the Horn of Africa is suffering from its worst drought in 40 years following 4 consecutive poor rainfall seasons. The Chinese city of Shanghai, the country's economic centre and a global trade hub, has eased COVID curbs after a 2-month lockdown. At midnight local time, restrictions were relaxed to allow most people to move freely around the city of some 25 million people. But at least 650,000 residents will remain confined to their homes. China's overall policy of zero COVID remains in place, and people catching COVID will still face quarantine or hospital. Final preparations are being made for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, with events due to be held across the UK in her honour. Workers continued construction of a stage and seating outside Buckingham Palace, metres from where the first royal fans were already beginning to gather despite the rain.
Without the Queen, Britain would be Britain, but she makes it great.
Celebrations are due to start on Thursday and will run until Sunday to mark the Queen's 70 years on the throne. Festivities will start with the Queen's official birthday parade, ending with an RAF flypast watched by members of the royal family on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. And finally, a camera crew have got up close to sizzling hot lava flowing from Italy's Mount Etna, Europe's highest and most active volcano. The 3,330-metre high volcano has roared back into action in recent weeks, spewing lava and ash high over the Mediterranean island of Sicily. With the temperature of lava reaching between 700 to 800 degrees Celsius, it's rare to get footage so close up. Etna often erupts but rarely causes damage and is believed to have been the longest written record of eruptions than any other volcano. The last major eruption occurred in 1992. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.